You are listening to Castles and Cryptids, where the castles are haunted and the cryptids are cryptic as fuck. And I'm Alanna.
I'm Kelsey.
And this is episode 83. Japanese folklore.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say it right out of the gate.
So we don't forget. I feel like
Yeah, that too.
sometimes we'll be like, did we say what this episode is about? And then we're like, it doesn't matter. It's the episode title. Everybody knows.
Yeah, and then we tangent for several minutes. Yep, it's
Yeah.
been known to happen.
Yeah.
I do have a fun fact for you that has a picture on the drive.
Oh my god. Okay.
I know, a fun fact picture.
Ooh.
Things I learned on the internet this week is that there's a place called Carhenge in the United States.
Carhenge. Okay.
Yes, it is in... Oh, it just headed up.
Oh, I see it.
It is in Nebraska, because why not?
I love it. Oh my god, that's so cool.
Completely like painted gray cars, right? Just
yes,
the shape of the circles of Stonehenge.
I love it.
I thought you might. I did.
It's so kind of great. Oh, it's awesome. Like, if you were kind of looking at it from, I guess, the outside perimeter, because it's the hoods and then the tops of the cars.
Yeah.
It kind of... Corda, what the fuck are you doing? Sorry. One sec. He's being very cute, but it's gonna be so disruptive.
Oh no.
No, so yeah, if you just look at the outside edge of it, because it's all like the hoods and the tops and it's all painted, it almost does look like rock if you aren't really paying attention.
Yeah.
But then the other side,
distance.
yeah, the other side, when you see like the bottom of the car and you're like, okay, I can clearly tell that's a car. But it's so fun. I love this picture of it on the sunset. It looks great.
Yeah, exactly. Just like the real one. Well, it's not lining up to like the solstice setting sun or anything. But I love how like one of them's half in, like for the stones that are kind of the laid down ones. Like I forget. Yes, one of them was called the sacrificial stone or something.
Yeah. Oh my god, I love it.
It's a henge. And that is apparently near Alliance, Nebraska.
Okay.
Fun.
Nebraska's having fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I forget what I was listening to, but I have several fun facts about Nebraska written down. So I was like enjoying it apparently. There's a place in Nebraska that just has one resident who's the bartender, I don't know, the mailman, whatever, and her name is Elsie.
Oh god.
Which was my great aunt's name, but I didn't ever look up the spelling of it, so my guess is as good as yours. That one's Manoe. Mano. That was my guesstimate of how you spelled it, so let me know, people, if you can find it. I've heard people mention that on a different podcast, I think, before. Just like a one-woman town. You're like, does that even count as a town? Are they just on the outskirts of somewhere else? Like, how can this be?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Huh. Maybe it was like a town and everybody else abandoned it.
I mean, she's gotta go somewhere to buy her milk. There's gotta be something nearby. That's all I know.
No, she's got her own like farm. She's fully self-sustaining and like sees one person a year. No, I hope not. That'd be so sad.
No, because I think they said she was the bartender, so I was like, wait, okay, there's a bar. Oh, it's like Modine's and Letterkenny. She just like basically lives there like Gail, and she knows everybody. Yeah. Hopefully she's not as horny as Gail's character is. Single-minded.
between Gail and oh fuck, what's the dude and his wife?
The McMurrays.
Yeah, but
how are you now?
good new. That's what my brother and I do. You know, good new.
It's also impossible not to say, to be fair, whenever that comes up in conversation.
Yeah.
Just say. But to be fair, we're Canadian, so we should sound like that.
It took me a little bit to get into that show, but
yeah,
I just like the absurdity of it. I'm just like,
I like it way better than like some other Canadian shows that have been quite popular, like Corner Gas or Trailer Park Boys. I could relate a lot more to these characters.
yeah, I never did Trailer Park Boys. My brother did. He loved it.
I mean, it's funny. It's that redneck kind of humor, obviously.
Yeah, my dad and I watched Corner Gas, so like almost all of it. Yeah, that was like
people in it.
yeah, it wasn't ever really like my favorite, but yeah, I liked the show. Something when it was on, you know, I wasn't gonna change the channel.
Well, nowadays we got things like Schitt's Creek and Letterkenny we could be proud of, so we're starting to really crack into it in the mainstream American TV world.
And it's good because it's stuff that's like by Canadians or you're like a part of it, so they're doing it in like a non-derogatory way kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Because, I mean, Canadians aren't that much different than Americans.
No, but we're just usually just the butt of their jokes on TV, like that Adam Sandler movie where they're looking at the hot guy at the pool and then he opens his mouth and he's like, "Hey, I'm from Saskatchewan, eh?"
Yes.
And I laughed because it was funny, but there is no place called Saskatchewan.
I do that to my dad because he's from Saskatoon. So I say Saskatchewan. Yeah.
Yes, that's a portmanteau of Saskatoon and Saskatchewan. There.
Right?
I'd love me some Saskatoon berries. Okay, we have some in our freezer that I got from my friend at work that I hope to make some of that Saskatoon berry mead out of, like that we bought at the store. That was so good.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
I think I had it in something. Maybe it was just jam. Or like a Saskatoon pie or something. I think I've had it once before.
Yeah, I think I was visiting my aunt and uncle in when they lived in Manitoba still, and they had it in like a syrup, like a pancake syrup. Might have been. Anyway, enough about Saskatoon berries.
Yeah, and this episode not even about Canada.
Hey, we've had 10 minutes of good, solid banter, and none of it was about television or movies for once.
It was! We just talked about Letterkenny and Corner Gas and Schitt's Creek.
Well, it wasn't Outlander, and I don't know. What else do we talk about a lot? Sometimes Fringe.
Parks and Rec.
Specifically why last time when you told me you had been watching Outlander, I was like, I shouldn't ask her about it now because we need to record.
Yeah.
Well, oh yeah, and I was gonna say to you, did I say that? I heard other people saying, this, you might notice, isn't my co-host today because Diana still has her throat ripped out by a demon. And I was like, still other people, like Homespun Haynes. This was who I was listening to this time, and her co-host was still out. And I thought, oh geez. Yeah, same with Kelsey.
Yeah, it's still hanging on there. I can feel it, but talking doesn't really make me cough too much. It's calmed down in the last week for sure. Like, it's gotten a lot better.
Yeah, it does sound like it. Do you want to go first this time?
Yeah, I thought maybe I could. Because I know what you're doing, and I feel like that's a better way to end the episode.
Okay. I hope
So
so. I think it's gonna be a little creepy. You
yeah,
know, we all love a good like. Japan has made some of the best horror movies that get
yeah.
adapted here. Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, I ended up looking up, just tried to find some folklore, like I guess fairy tales. I didn't
Ooh.
actually find any of the actual stories. I basically ran across just summaries that people did of the story. So that's mostly what I
Yeah.
have.
Oh, totally. It's usually like someone's version because it's all passed down orally sometimes.
Yeah. Uh so most of the stuff I found uh was on Wikipedia, and then there was a really a good article that I found that had 7 Japanese folklore stories that I
I
got.
love
I
those
think,
kind of articles. I'm like, give it to me.
yeah,
What are the seven?
I got one of the 7 off of there because what they did is the other ones weren't really like folklore stories. Uh,
Okay.
and but it was actually the wanderwisdom.com. It was travel destinations, and it told you like the folklore kind of story around a place, and that had little bullet points about places you could visit that were related to that. So one of the
Oh,
stories
fun.
actually has a couple places that you can visit that there's like statues and stuff about it, which was kind of cool. um
Ooh.
yeah.
Can you hear the dog?
Oh, I can
Okay.
now.
Cute. Cute dog scratching at door or carpet.
Right.
No, that sounds fun though. The statues.
Yeah. I should have looked
Cool.
up pictures of the statues. I forgot to do that. I was gonna do that. Ran out of time. We both finished our
What?
notes for this today. Uh
That's true.
so good on us. Pat
We're
on the
starting to
back.
be like real podcasters who are like, "Hey man." No.
Yeah.
That's
Uh
a very Amanda thing to do from Wine and Crime. There's a lot of them that are like, "I finished my assignment just at the end of the day, professor." But sometimes that's
right?
just how shit goes. And this was when we
Yeah.
could record, so it was
Yeah.
good.
I also didn't really look up how to pronounce anything, but I'll give it a whirl.
Oh yeah, those are those things where I'm like, I will do that after.
Yeah. Normally it's I'll do that like 2 hours before we record, and that was like when I was
Two
making
hours
dinner.
before you
So
record, you're doing notes. Exactly. Yeah.
yeah. So just in summary, in Japanese, there's a term called minkan denshu, and which means transmissions among the folk. So I think that's just basically, like you said, oral storytelling. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
used to describe folklore. And there's many Japanese fairy tales through the ages or different periods. A lot of stuff, if I remember correctly, said that during like the Edo period, a lot of stories came out, or there was a lot more variations during the Edo period of a lot of the stories than in other periods.
Ooh, that's the most delicious period. I'm just kidding. Edo, Japan.
Yeah. The name Mukashi Banashi uh, translates to long ago or from bygone times. And this has been applied to most common folk tales since they typically open with the formula Mukashi, which is akin to our Once Upon a Time.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
And these stories or fairy tales often also close with a phrase like Doto Harai, which I tried, like, I Googled it and
Yeah.
I couldn't find anything. And what I was reading said that Doto Harai is a variant form of Dondo hair. So then I Googled Dondo hair and I found a TV show that said that hair, I don't know if it's just in the TV show or like in Japanese, like translates to something about the sunrise. So I think that's supposed to be kind of like riding off into the sunset, maybe like happily ever after, the end kind
Okay.
of thing. But I couldn't
Sure.
translate either of those. Like when I Googled them, nothing came up saying what it means.
I think that would be a fair bet anyway. It's like
Yeah.
a positive closing line. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you hope that they all end that way and that they're not
Yeah.
the Grimm's fairy tale versions, which are quite
Yeah.
unhappy endings. They're quite grim.
Uh, as we kind of said, folk tales are basically come from like oral traditions and are told in pretty specific local dialects. This has kind of resulted in many variations or versions of each story depending on where or even when it was recorded or like written down. And these can also make it sometimes difficult for outsiders to understand because of different pronunciation or grammar differences.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So many folk tales collected are actually translations into standard Japanese. And from like, I assume what they meant was like these local dialects. And they
Right.
may be adaptations or a merging of several different versions that were collected when this was quote unquote translated. Even just
Yeah.
from like Japanese, different variation, like dialects to standard Japanese. So
I could see that. And just with different dialects, they're from different regions. So
yeah,
people from different places are like, oh, we used to play that game, but we called it this or whatever.
exactly.
That's cool.
So the first story, I think, should be the first three pictures on the drive. They're
Picture
pretty cool.
time.
They're like really old pictures, some of them from like 1890s and stuff. Some of them are from scrolls. Um,
Ooh,
yeah, so they
scrolls.
depict like some of the stories and like parts of it. So,
Scrolling over to the scrolls.
yeah. The first one is called Urashima Taro, and the story goes that one day a young fisherman named Urashima Taro was fishing when he notices a group of children torturing a small turtle.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? What did that turtle
Yeah,
do to you?
these are like all these summaries are just what it had on Wikipedia, but most of the sites I looked at, they were pretty much the same except for maybe like one or two different words. All the summaries are
Okay.
basically the same. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah. Just
Taro
what
saves,
dicks.
right? Taro
Yeah.
saves it and lets it go back into the sea. The next day, a huge turtle approaches him and tells him that the small turtle he had saved is the daughter of the Emperor of the Sea, Ryujin, who wants to see him to thank him. So the turtle magically gives Taro gills and brings him to the bottom of the sea to the palace of the dragon god Ryugujo.
Oh,
And
damn.
yeah, there he meets the emperor and the small turtle, who is now a lovely princess, Otohime. And the palace had a view to the Four Seasons, a different one on each side.
Oh, but not the hotel.
No, not the hotel. I thought that
It,
too.
yeah, split second, split second.
Yeah,
We have a view of the Four Seasons, but we're not in it.
yeah.
Okay, that's
Taro's
interesting.
Taro stays with Otohime for 3 days, but soon wants to go back to his village and see his aging mother, so he requests permission to leave. The princess says that she is sorry to see him go, but wishes him well and gives him a mysterious box called Temate Beiko, which will protect him from harm, but which she tells him never to open. Feel very like Pandora's box about it.
Yes, or the Dybbuk box.
Yeah.
Damn.
So Taro grabs the box, jumps on the back of the same turtle that had brought him there, and soon is at the seashore.
Okay.
So when he gets home, everything has changed. His home is gone, his mother has vanished, and the people he knew are nowhere to be seen. He asks if anybody knows a man named Urashima Taro. They answer that they had heard someone of that name had vanished at sea long ago.
Okay.
And that was him. So now he gets word that, like, he disappeared. So...
Oh,
yeah.
sorry. You're like, no, you're not getting it. It's like, whoa, what? That's like the classic urban legend where, you know, someone's picked up by a car or whatever, and she left her sweater in my car, but she's been dead for 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, that's really, really unsettling.
Yeah. So Taro discovers that 300 years have passed since the day he left for the bottom of the sea.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And it felt like 3 days to him. Struck by grief, he absent-mindedly opens the box the princess had given him, from which bursts forth a cloud of white smoke. He is suddenly aged, his beard long and white and his back bent. And from the sea comes the sad, sweet voice of the princess. I told you not to open that box. In it was your old age.
Oh,
and that's
now the
like
300 years catch up with him.
Yeah, that's the story, or the summary of the
Damn.
story, I guess. And one source I read said that the tragic tale of Urashima Taro is one of the oldest Japanese folklore stories and has circulated as early as the 5th century and has many, many different versions.
It does sound like a classic, like a Greek.
Yeah.
It definitely has a very easy to spot lesson. This is what you did wrong. This is what you should have done
Kind
looking
of.
back.
Yeah.
Like, or I don't know. Well, he like opened it. He definitely wasn't supposed to, and he probably could have still lived there and been happy.
Right.
But yeah, it's very tragic any way you slice it, I guess.
Yeah. So some of the versions include ones where only a few decades have passed instead of the total of 300 years, but
Oh,
still, like,
okay.
his family's basically gone. And other
Yeah.
versions say that once Taro opened the box, he aged dramatically and then just basically dropped dead. Like, just
Oh
boom, died.
no. He dusted.
Because
He
it's
dusted.
300 years.
Oh.
And then opinions about what the possible moral, because typically in, like, Western fairy tales, everything has, like, a moral to the story.
Yeah.
There's differing opinions about what a possible moral of the tale may be. And some just simply believe it doesn't really have one. Just because
Like, well,
it's
I
like, don't open the
guess.
box, but that's about the only thing.
I suppose it is a bit you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, because
Yeah.
it doesn't sound like he could have avoided being brought to the future. Kind of like a Rumpelstiltskin sort of situation.
Yeah.
No, that's not the one. What's the one where he's asleep for a long time? Um, Van Winkle?
I don't know.
Yeah. Yes,
No
Rip
idea.
Van Winkle. He like falls asleep forever. Never mind.
No, I don't know.
That one's pretty well known too, but I can't remember the details, so I'll shut up.
So this was the one that was I found on that travel website. So it said that the Dragon Palace and Princess Otohime are originally used as, or are occasionally used as design motifs on souvenir packaging. So their, like, likeness has been used. Well, Taro himself has appeared in video games and different anime. And the supposed spirit of Urashima Taro is enshrined at a rather remote Urashima shrine in northern Kyoto province. And
Kyoto. That's famous from the
yes.
Kyoto Accords.
Yeah. So there's supposed to be a shrine there that holds his supposed spirit. And at this shrine, there's a statue of him as well as Otohime. Uh, they're like each have their own statue there. There's
Okay.
also a bunch of stuff talking about like where it says that Taro says he's from and stuff. There's also supposed to be things. Didn't really get into it because there was like a lot going on.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it said that the the Kagoshima prefecture at the southern tip of Japan is said to be Taro's birthplace. The Ryugu shrine at Ibutsuki, just outside of Kagoshima City, contains beautifully lacquered structures inspired by descriptions of the Dragon Palace.
Ooh. Yeah. Sounds pretty cool.
I'm like, another thing I could have looked up pictures for. Didn't. I'll try and find stuff for the website.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, that's like the first three are kind of the first three pictures in the drive are like to do with the story. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, the like traditional Japanese drawings or art or whatever. Yeah. Totally. It was kind of cool.
And the next one, I'd say probably has the most variations of it. And that is, well, the first variation, or I guess main one, is called Tsuru no Onegishi, which translates to Crane's Return of a Favor. And
Cranes.
Okay. Yeah. Which, as you could kind of assume, it's the story of a crane who returns a favor to a man.
I mean, as one does.
Yeah.
Lend favors to cranes and other birds.
Yeah. So, according to Japanese scholar Seki Kyugo, the tale is one of the best known tales in Japan about supernatural and enchanted spouses.
Oh, okay.
There's many versions of it, and each is basically about a guy marrying something that turns out to not be human. So
that also sounds like Greek stories.
Yeah. The first variation, or I guess version, is just called The Crane Wife, and its version says that there was a man who marries the crane that returns the favor is known as Tesoro Nayobo, or Crane Wife. And in the Crane Wife story, the man marries a woman who is in fact a crane disguised as a human. And
okay.
Yeah. These are all just like little synopses of the different versions. To make money, the crane wife plucks her own feathers to weave silk brocade, which the man sells. But she becomes increasingly ill as she does so. And when the man discovers his wife's true identity and the nature of her illness, he is devastated by the truth and he demands her to stop. And yeah, as her response is that she has been doing it for love, for them together. And the man says that love exists without sacrifice, but he is wrong. And it just said that he who lives without sacrifices for someone else doesn't deserve to be with a crane. And that's the end of that version, I guess.
Oh. Damn. That was pretty savage.
Yeah.
If you don't that was like I was listening to a list about famous quotes the other day, and there's the one that's, I think it was Mae West, because there was one quote on the list that was also Marilyn Monroe, so now I'm trying to remember, but it was like, it goes kind of like, if you can't stand me at my worst, then you don't deserve me at my best. It's kind of like,
Oh yeah.
it's kind of sassy in a way.
Yeah.
That reminded me of that.
Yeah, very much. So at first I wasn't gonna get into all the versions of this story, but they're all kind of just weird enough that you kind of have to talk about them. So
Yeah. Or this, or it could have been this, or this.
yeah.
I
There's one version that's called the Copper Pheasant Wife. And in this one, the wife doesn't weave cloth, but instead provides her husband a plume to feather an arrow shaft the husband is rewarded for. Don't really know what that means. The wife is not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, I missed the. Oh, I missed the original story. Gordo, hi.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, the crane wife was like one version. That's why it probably didn't make sense. Oh. Okay, sorry. I have to tell the original version. It has the most information.
Oh, okay. So that was most of the
Yeah,
variations. Okay.
the crane wife. That was a variation. That's why I didn't have a lot of information because it was only telling the differences between the two. I was like, why does this seem so short? Okay. So the crane's return of a favor, the Tesoro no Onagoshi, is a man saves a crane that had been shot down by hunters. And that night, a beautiful girl appears at the man's door and tells him that she is his wife. Like every guy's dream.
Okay.
Just a woman shows up at the door, I'm your wife.
And he didn't even mail order her that bride.
Yeah. The man tells her that he is not wealthy enough to support them, but she tells him that she has a bag of rice that will fill their stomachs. And every day, the rice bag never goes down in the sack, and it always stays full. The next day, she tells the man that she's going in a room to make something and that he is not to come in until she is finished. So 7 days have passed by, and she finally comes out with a beautiful piece of clothing, but she is very skinny. She tells the man to go to the markets the next morning and to sell this for a very large price. So, yeah, he comes back home and tells her that he sold it for a very good price. After that, they are now wealthy. And the woman then goes back into the room, telling him once again not to come in until she's finished. But the man's curiosity takes over and he peeks in, realizing that the woman is the crane whom he had saved. And when the crane sees that the man has found out her true identity, she says that she cannot stay there anymore and flies away to never come back.
No, you're not supposed to look.
Yeah.
Everything was fine. If it's not a bad, dirty secret, then I don't need to know.
Right? Sitting in a room like freaking making clothing.
Yeah, which she was better at as a crane, I take it.
Yeah. Yeah, so the crane wife, like, variation is instead of her actually being a crane, yeah, that part's the same, but she's plucking out her own feathers to make that. She becomes ill. He demands her to stop. So instead of the one where she says, like, the original one where she says she just can't stay, this one, he's demanding her to stop, and she says that she can't.
Yeah. Because that's her livelihood.
Yeah. So the other variations, the copper pheasant wife, the wife doesn't weave cloth, but instead provides her husband a plume to feather an arrow shaft the husband is rewarded for. And the wife is not looked in on by the husband, like in the room where she's working, like she is in the crane wife. Instead, like in Crane's Return of a Favor, the pheasant wife leaves as soon as the favor is returned. So that one, it's like to do with arrows. There's a bird wife. version that's an injured wild goose that the man ends up saving. And in this story, the wife leaves without prompting from the husband, and one day she disappears, but he finds her in a local pond. And this is where she explains that she's trying to repay his kindness and asks him to use the money from selling the cloth to take care of their children before she flies away. So that when they had kids. Yeah. There's
Little
one called
goslings.
Yeah, exactly. An injured wild goose.
My mom's married name now is the French word for gosling. Gosselin.
Oh, wow.
Also, I heard a thing the other day where a translation of penguin was business goose.
Business goose. I love it.
Well, they do look like they were in like a little suit or something.
I love it.
It's
Business.
so cute. It's stuck in my head.
That's so great. Like, I love languages.
I know. I love the weird little things, nuggets I learned from podcasts and other weird stuff.
Just a few more variations on this one. There's a fox wife. They get increasingly weird. You'll thank me after. The fox wife, where it's a fox that the man helps, and the fox shows up on the man's doorstep to become his bride. In this tale, the fox does not weave, but instead uses her tail to sweep the floors. And a little bit of a difference, again, with this one is upon discovering his wife's identity, her being a fox, the husband drives her away instead of her leaving. He makes her leave.
She kept the floors clean with her tail. Yeah. Why would you drive away a wife like that?
Yeah.
Honestly. And she's a foxy lady.
Yeah. A kitsune.
Yes.
Yeah, that came up a lot.
Yes, which is a nine-tailed fox, if you guys don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think we've talked about them on here. I think I have talked about them with my daughter.
Yeah.
There's one in Sonic or whatever.
Okay.
Tails or I don't know. Never mind.
I know. I used to play Sonic.
Oh.
Yeah. In one version called the Clam Wife, because he marries Clam.
Clam Wife. Oh my god.
A man finds a beautiful woman mysteriously appear on his doorway. They become married, and the wife cooks the husband a delicious bean soup every day.
Oh my god, every day.
Every day, bean soup.
He must be the most regular person on the planet.
Just so farty.
Yeah.
So instead of him like peeking on her weaving, he peeks in on her cooking and discovers that she's urinating clam juice into the soup. So he chases her away. Because she's a clam, but she's peeing into the soup.
I don't know where to go with that.
Right?
Things to say.
That's why I'm like, every one of these needs to be talked about. Peeing clam soup.
Was she a clam at the time?
Yeah, I think so.
God. Oh god.
I hope not. Her just popping a squat over the stove.
Yeah, that's a different kind of clam juice. I don't know what to say. This is no Hansel and Gretel. This is not safe for
work. There's a version called The Fish Wife, where a fisherman...
well, those I've heard of. They sound more normal.
The fisherman, or a fisherman, releases a fish that he does not need to eat back into the water because he does not have a greedy nature. As a result, a beautiful woman appears at the fisherman's door and begs to be his wife. The wife cooks the husband a bean soup, and it is so good that he is suspicious of how she makes it. So he spies on her while she's cooking and discovers she urinates in the soup. So much.
Did they just not have no salt and this was the... Oh, I don't even... Nope. Nope.
Later at dinner, he alludes to her cooking method. When the wife realizes he knows, she says she must return to her former home and bids her husband visit her at the pond the following day. When he does, she explains how she was a fish he saved and had wanted to repay the favor. She disappears into the water, leaving him a box of gold and silver.
Hey.
I mean, you ate pea soup? Literal pea soup? God. Fish pea, clam pea, who knows?
That one was surprising. I was ready to like facepalm again, and then you're like, well, then at least you got gold and silver out of it. Like,
yeah.
There's your divorce settlement.
Yeah, there's your compensation.
Alimony.
The last one is the snake wife, in which a beautiful woman appears in a widower's doorway, asking to stay the night.
Okay.
Da 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 da. They become married, and the wife becomes pregnant.
Yada yada yada.
Well, there's no other information on this one, so I'm like, what is like? It's what she has to say the night, and then it's just the next sentence says they become married, and now the wife is pregnant.
And we can tell you've still been watching a lot of Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Yada
yada yada yada.
Never heard from him again.
Yeah. So the wife warns the husband not to look in on the hut where she intends to have their child. So that one's a bit different. He looks and discovers a snake. The wife says that the husband has seen her true form and she must leave. She ends up giving her child her 2 eyeballs for nourishment as she cannot be there to feed it.
Oh my god.
And when the son grows of age, he takes care of his blind mother. That's all I have. So those are a bunch of different versions about the crane wife. Or the crane who returns a favor. And most of them have nothing to do with the crane.
But they're like half the time normal people, like a Princess Fiona sort of situation where she's like only an ogre at night. It's like,
yeah.
Seems weird that they couldn't get past this.
I'm only a clam when I'm making soup.
I told you not to look at me because
don't look at me without makeup on. I'm a clam.
Don't you can just not want your spouse to watch you giving birth because you just don't want them to see that. It had nothing to do with me being a snake or not. I just asked Pat to stay away, but he didn't listen. Oh god.
I do have one more story.
Do you? Nice.
And that is fun. I know. I should have ended with that one. This one's pretty good too.
The George Costanza where he ends on a high note and leaves the meeting after I don't know. You haven't got to that one? He's like, he tells a good joke and then that's when he wants to leave the meeting because he wants to go out on a high note.
Oh,
he doesn't want to be like say something stupid after that, so he just leaves.
Yeah. This one also has a bunch of variations. And this is called The Crab and the Monkey. And it has an original version that we know of that's called the Monkey Crab Battle. It sounds like a rap battle. Dance battle.
Donkey Kong level.
Like, yeah. Dance off between a monkey and a crab.
There's sometimes crabs are your bosses in that.
Yeah.
You have to fucking... Anyway.
So I think it's the Monkey Crab Battle is translated to Saru Kani Gassen. There's other versions, so that's like the first one. The Monkey Crab Battle is the original one. And then the one's called like the Crab and the Monkey and everything, as well as the Quarrel of the Monkey and the Crab. Yeah, there's like different versions of it. is the story of a sly monkey who kills a crab and later is killed by the crab's offspring in revenge.
King Krabby
Yeah.
Jr.
So the synopsis of this one was, while out walking, a crab finds a rice ball, and a sly monkey persuades the crab to trade the rice ball for a persimmon seed. And
that seems like a bad trade.
Yeah. The
Bad
crab is
dream.
upset at first, but when she plants and tends to the seed, a tree grows that supplies abundant fruit. The monkey then agrees to climb the tree and pick the fruit for the crab. But the monkey decides to gorge himself on the fruit instead of sharing it with the crab.
Uh-oh.
Because he a dick.
Yeah, that was your first mistake.
When the crab protests, the monkey ends up hurling hard, unripe fruit at her. The shock of being attacked like this causes the crab to end up giving birth just before she ends up dying.
Oh no!
Yeah.
That's dramatic.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Ooh.
So the crab's offspring seek revenge on the monkey. With the help of several allies, which are what rotates in the story, basically. The allies in the original story are a chestnut, a cow dung, so like a poop.
I'm picturing these all in emoji form. With smiling little eyes.
That's a great way to do it, yeah. So
well, everything in Japan is like sometimes stylized so cute.
Yeah.
And, like...
It's a great way to look at it because we have a chestnut, a piece of poo, a bee, and an uzu, which is a large heavy mortar. So these allies, along with the crab's offspring, go to the monkey's house. The chestnut hides himself on the monkey's hearth, and the bee in the water pail, the cow dung on the floor, and the uzu on the roof. When the monkey returns home, he tries to warm himself on the hearth, but the chestnut strikes the monkey so that he burns himself. And when the monkey...
because I thought he was going to get roasted over the open fire.
Not quite.
It is Christmas time. No.
Oh dear. Yeah, so the chestnut hits the monkey so he burns himself. Then the monkey tries to cool himself from the burn at the water bucket, but the bee stings him. He tries to run out of the house, but the cow dung makes him slip. And the uzu...
I knew it.
And then the uzu falls down from the roof, killing the monkey by crushing his heart, causing him to bleed out and die.
Oh god.
So that's the original one. As I said, there's multiple versions that switch out what, like, things or what allies, I guess you call them, help out the crab.
I want to see cartoon versions of all of it. Just like...
Oh, it's gonna get great. There's, like, a picture. I think it's the last picture that's one of the... Oh, I don't have the year on it. Oh, it also depicts, like, one of the versions. Don't see it yet. Don't look at it yet. Okay. So, yeah. So there's versions about whether or not the crab or the monkey ever even die.
Okay.
One version of the story published by Andrew Lang says that the crab gathers the unripe fruit that is thrown down by the monkey, like trying to kill it. The crab gathers it up and isn't killed. Instead, the monkey leaves after this and leaves the crab for dead because she'd be unable to, like, go up to get more of the fruit. So all she's left with is, like, the unripe fruit. Which...
It's not ripe yet.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
One version has the crab's children being helped by the uzu, a snake, a bee, and a rami, which is kelp, along with a kitchen knife. Because almost everyone has, like, an animated object.
Where's the little sushi guy?
Right. So this one, they're helped by a knife, like a kitchen knife, which is the last picture. It's like drawn. I don't have a year for the picture, but it's like the classic Japanese like drawing, but there's just like a kitchen knife. Like laying on the ground. And I love it.
Oh no. But no cartoon eyes, unfortunately. No. I take it. I'll find
yeah, it's kind of great.
Oh, that's the okay.
So there's another version yet that has the allies said to be an amount of oil, just an amount. Another one that has an egg instead of a chestnut, and then the kelp instead of a cow dung. In that one, the egg attacks the monkey by exploding, and then the kelp then causes the monkey to slip instead of the dung.
Did they put the egg in the microwave? Because that can happen.
That's what I thought, yeah.
You want to make sure your robe is closed.
We used to have one of those microwave egg things. Like, it was like a little thing into the water, and then you could put like salt and pepper, and it makes like a little...
It poaches it?
Basically, but it's not... It was like a little thing. It was basically like just bigger than a hard-boiled egg.
Yeah.
And you would just crack the egg into it and add a bit of water. It's not the nice ones from like Tupperware that you do that make it so you could put it on like a sandwich or like a bagel or something. This, it was basically like a ball.
Oh, okay. But, just a quick way to like, hard or soft boil it. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, so another version, oh, that's the same. That sentence meant to be deleted. It was like, in one version of the story published by Andrew Lang. We already talked about you.
Bloopers.
So there's a 20th century novelist. Oh, God. I should have looked up how to pronounce things. I'm sorry.
Oh, I know that's hard. It's really hard.
Ryunoshuki Hakutagawa. He wrote a short story. Yeah. He wrote a short story based on the folktale in which, after avenging their mother's death by attacking the monkey, the crab children are all arrested and face the death penalty.
Oh my God, the children. Won't somebody please save the children? And
then, okay, this is why I didn't put the other one. This is a good way to end it too. Okay, I don't feel so bad. I can't believe I did all of these notes today and then totally forgot. Wow.
It's all a blur.
So last, I guess, version of the story that's completely different is when the monkey climbs the tree and takes all the persimmons, the crab advises him to hang his basket of fruit from a branch. And when the monkey hangs his basket on a thin branch, the branch breaks and the basket of fruit falls. The crab quickly carries the fruit off and crawls down a hole. Are you ready?
Oh my God.
The monkey decides to defecate on the crab and sticks his buttocks down the hole.
The crab right over it. Yeah. Squatty potty.
The crab quickly shaves the monkey's bottom. Which it said, literally, this is what the thing said word for word. The crab quickly shaves the monkey's bottom, which is why, to this day, monkeys have hairless bottoms and hair grows on crabs' claws.
Because baboons or whatever. Yeah,
I think that's what they mean.
The barefaced baboons. Rafiki.
I was like, okay.
People play Donkey Kong really bad, and the ones where you have to hit, there's crabs, and they're hard to hit because they got their. You have to hit them once to get their stupid little claws to go in. Otherwise, you can't get rid of them. Damn, that was very much. I know why they like. I play all the Japanese video games. We bought Rain's Super Mario Galaxy. And she loves Donkey Kong, and it's like, okay, this is where they came up with all of these ideas of monkeys fighting crabs.
Apparently there is a big, like, history in Japan of like crabs and monkeys, or monkeys versus like other animals and crabs versus other animals. So
interesting. Maybe they're supposed
yeah,
to kind of represent us because, they're
I don't know.
close relatives.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I wish I could have found like actual versions of the story instead of the summaries, but I think the summaries worked out okay. But...
Pardon me. I mean, yeah, I think usually original versions are quite long too. Most people like to give the summed up version if you're going to do like, this is the real Grimm's fairy tales, which we could do those too because, yeah,
we
they
have
are dark. The original.
At my work, we have a book.
I didn't even catch that.
And it, because they're redoing like basically almost like velvety printed covers of all these books at my work. So they have like Frankenstein and like Sherlock Holmes and like all these ones.
Oh, okay. And they look like kind of a classic.
Yeah, but it's kind of like felty, like it has kind of like a texture to it. And there is one that was the Grimm's Fairy Tales, and I keep wanting to buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be a cool version to have for sure. And yeah, they're pretty interesting. Future episode idea.
I do know Cinderella, her glass slipper is supposed to catch on the stairs because the prince like wants to trap her from leaving the party because he likes her, so he has the servants pour tar down the stairs, and then when she's running down the stairs, instead of her slipper falling off, her feet get stuck in the tar. It was like, oh shit. Like,
yeah. How they did it in wasn't that how they did it in Anna Kendrick's in the movie Into the Woods? Yeah, yes, I haven't seen it, but she talked about it in her book, how she had to film it and act like she couldn't pick her feet up off the stairs.
Yeah, I love Into the Woods. It's great.
I should watch it.
Into the Woods.
I just saw her talk about it, and I was like, oh, that sounds like a pretty good,
it's fun.
Kind of. Yeah, it's amalgamation of a bunch of fairy tales or something.
Yeah, so like Cinderella. Yeah, she's Cinderella, and then somebody's Little Red Riding Hood, and there's the one boy that's doing is it Jack and the Beanstalk or something, and then somebody's doing like Rumpelstiltskin. There's like 5 of them going on at the same time.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, see, I'd like that. I like that.
And they all like and all of them are going into the woods, and they're like crossing paths with each other, and like all this stuff is going on. And then Meryl Streep is the evil witch, like behind it all.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
I could see that. It's like Angelina Jolie as Maleficent. That's pretty good too.
Yeah, I like those ones. Yeah.
Well, that was really fun.
Yes.
I laughed more than I thought I would.
I was like typing these up, and I was like, oh my god, this is just getting weirder. And then I was like, there's a lot of variations. And then I was like, clams peeing. Now it's fish peeing. Hairless monkey butts. Yeah, hairless monkey butt. I'm like, I don't know.
The obsession with the butts and the toilets, we'll get to it. A little bit. It's weird. I don't know. I get it. It's a vulnerable place. Like, yeah, I'd get scared. I'd be watching X-Files with my sister, and then I'd be like going to the bathroom, and whatever's on the TV, it's like, they had needles going on in their latest case. Well, needles are going to come up through the toilet and get me in the butt. Like, I would just like think these stupid thoughts that made no sense.
I'm more afraid of like being in Australia and like you'd have a snake or like a giant bug or spider in the toilet.
That's more likely to actually happen than needles. Yeah. So that's a more rational fear.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, we'll come back and you can tell me all about it.
Yeah. Yeah, go pee, guys, before we get to this next section.
Get a top up. And go
Yeah,
pee.
get it now. We are back.
Yay!
We are so back. We hope you went to the bathroom and it was mostly uneventful in a good way.
Yeah.
So, we're going to start by going to the Howling Inunaki tunnel. That's probably say it.
Sure.
The only thing I had pictures for, other than the car.
Oh, okay.
This tunnel is supposed to be one of the most haunted places in Japan.
Oh, it looks creepy.
Yeah. This is what it looks like nowadays. It's in the Inunaki Mountain Pass, Kuyamacho, Miyawakashi, Fukoku Prefecture. Why do they have so many town names in regions? All right. And according to Dangerous Roads website, the tunnel is located in the Miyawaka town of Fukuoka Prefecture through a mountain into remote areas. The actual scenery is scary. The tunnel is curvy and less than 100 meters long.
Okay. A windy, dark, creepy tunnel.
Yeah. I guess it used to lead to a village, but I have a little bit. Yeah, I have a little bit of a history on it. But part of the history that makes it haunted is from a story that happened in good old 1988, the year of my birth. It's not a happy story, though. In December, actually, when does this come out? The 9th? Yeah. So this happened on December 7th, which is my friend Jill's birthday. Hi, Jill. You sometimes listen.
Hello.
When they found the burned body of a factory worker named Umayama Kuichi, who was only age 20, found at the mountain pass. Yeah. And that was basically the short version of the story, was that he was found there and a group of youths are soon arrested for the crime.
That's sucky. Youths.
Oh, it's very bad. Because this is like a little mini true crime case.
Okay. Yeah.
We know that these group of, they're like teenagers, like 16, 17. The oldest was like 19.
Okay.
And they saw him pull up at a stoplight and approached his vehicle. And they said they needed his car to pick up some girls, so quit acting tough and get out.
What? Oh my god.
Yeah. They
Losers.
just tried to carjack him, like, with no weapons, but just a bunch of idiots. So he refused, probably because he was like, what the fuck? I don't need this shit. I mean, he probably regretted that, unfortunately. He managed to break free briefly and ran down the road trying to get help from any other motorists, but nobody really was there or noticed him or stopped to help.
Okay.
So they recaptured him and continued to beat and batter him bloody.
Jeez.
Yeah. They tried to kill him first by throwing him off of the Kanda port. I don't know. They're near a dam, and then you got this tunnel, so I'm not sure if this is part of the dam or a bridge or something.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it said that they tried to get him over this, but they were unsuccessful getting him over the edge because he was clinging to the fence part for dear life.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. And then one of the youths was supposed to said to have hesitated at this time and been like, okay, what are we really gonna do this? We don't need to do this. And then one of the other ones was like, no, we're all in this together, and that like we have to kill him so we don't get in trouble. We don't want to get found
Oh
out.
my. So stupid.
I know. What is
Then
this? Flashback to last week's
yeah, like
episodes?
then don't steal the dude's car in the first place. Like
Yeah, exactly. They put him in his own trunk, then beat him some more with rocks and whatever they could find. And he escaped a second time, said the one source there, but they pretended they wouldn't hurt him. So I guess he came back out or something like
oh,
that, which just sounds horrible. Then they tried to dump him into the dam, the Ricky Maru Dam, but ultimately that didn't work either, so they burned his body after dousing him with gasoline.
Jesus.
Yeah,
I feel so bad for that guy. Like
I know. I'm like, I
wow.
feel bad for not giving a trigger warning that this one was just about to get to like a brutal crime case. But if it's haunted, if this is like this really happened, then
Yeah.
there's some bad juju there.
Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah. Um, he was found to have died from the blood loss. Because they lit him on fire, but he wasn't quite dead yet. He was still running around screaming, burning, and they
Jeez.
just ran away. So they had to come back after to really make sure he was dead because they
Oh
were
my
such
god.
cowards. Oh, I'm sorry. Was I not reporting that very fairly? I can't do it.
No, they are cowards. They're like terrible.
Yeah, there's no sympathy for them.
And sorry, but anytime I hear the word youths, um, I cannot help but think. Did you ever watch New Girl?
Yes, it makes me think of New Girl too, because
Are
Schmidt.
you the youths from the statistics? Like
He's like in his 20s and everyone's youths.
are
Youths.
you the youths from the statistics?
Schmidt's great though. Oh.
Yeah, one afternoon when I was sick, I literally for like a couple hours just watched compilations of funny moments from New Girl and was like, and that was in every single one of them, and I was like, yes. Same with when he's trying
Him
to pick
and
their
Nick.
daughter up
Oh.
from daycare, and they're like, where is she? And they're like, a man came, and it was like a white man. It was like, of course it's a white man. Something I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, later seasons. Deep cut. But
I
that's got some good actors in it. Like those are some funny people.
It took me a bit to get into it, but because I
Yeah.
don't really like Zoe Deschanel, so I didn't
Yeah,
think I
even the
would like
character
it.
can be. Hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, the rest of them, it was just too funny. Yeah, Schmidt and Nick, like, just so funny.
They're hard to resist. They do that crazy drinking game that reminds me of like Calvin and Hobbes's whatever murder ball he used to play, or I can't remember, but theirs is what is it? Something American. And
Yeah,
they're
I
like
tried
drinking and the
looking
floor
it
is
up,
lava.
and there's no actual rules or layout of what the game is or explanation.
Nah, that would just
So,
take the fun out of it.
but
But I
like,
would.
you want to play it, and then it's like there's nothing. There's no way to play it because like nobody knows what it is.
To me, it's like they took a game like that sociable card game where you can like assign, you drink one for an ace, or you can drink two for
Hmm.
a two, but then you could take the um, face cards and like you could, like if somebody gets that, they can assign a different rule. I imagine it like evolves something like that where they're like, well, then
Yeah.
they add a rule and then they add a rule. You get a rule.
I just used to love watching it because they're like playing like the floor is lava, and then they're like being
Yeah.
presidents and presidents' wives, and it just made no sense.
Yeah, they're doing shots. They're doing shots off encyclopedias. I don't know.
Yeah,
Screaming about presidents.
making costumes and seems so fun. I want to play it.
I know. Oh, yeah, not fun things. That's right. That's what we were trying to avoid.
Yeah.
So basically, they did that, and then they went to a bar and bragged about it, and they were overheard. So the good news is they were arrested soon after and all found guilty.
Good. They were stupid from start to finish. Wow.
Phew, yeah, just brutal. And it also said that the word Inunaki means dog bark. I love how it just
Dog
started with
bark.
that and then doesn't go on with that thought at all.
Yeah, I ran into that a few times when I was reading something, and
You're like, oh, this is translated to English. No. That stuff is funny though.
yeah.
Miss English translations. I love that. It said the tunnel is no longer in use, and after many trespassers, the tunnel is now sealed with concrete blocks. So that's why it looks all sealed up.
Okay. It looked like you still might be able to get around them.
I know in some of the pictures it wasn't all the way to the
Yeah.
top. It looked like you could maybe climb, although it wouldn't be comfortable.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, the tunnel was the setting for a new Japanese horror movie called Howling Village, and after the movie, the tunnel suddenly became a tourist hotspot, even crowded even during the pandemic. End quote.
Howling Village. I want to Google this.
Yeah, so
It sounds familiar for some reason.
oh really?
Yeah.
So the thing is that there was a village nearby because I was like, okay, so they explained the tunnel, but they didn't explain why it's called like there's village and stuff. And then it said on Wikipedia, according to historical records written during the Edo period, oh, there it is again.
Yeah.
The real Inunaki village, and then it gives the coordinates, officially referred to as Inunakidani village, was established by a dispatch group of the Fukuoka domain in 1691.
Wow.
Yeah. Bune Shinozaki was appointed as the village headman. The village's sources of income were producing ceramic products and steel manufacturing. A coal mine was established here later, and a castle called Inunaki Gobakan was founded in 1865 under the recommendation of Kato Shizo. I was just trying to understand what happened to the village, so that's why this
Yeah.
is a little bit of its history.
I looked up the movie, and that's not the one I thought it was. So
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out which one I was confusing it for, because that was a great movie. I'm like
And
scrolling
how
through my letterboxd. Where is
it
it?
wasn't like howling to do with like werewolves or anything.
No, like it was like set in a little village. I can picture the cover of it. That's why I'm trying to find it, but
Okay. Like I said, so many good horror movies from there. Um so what it said was in April 1889, due to the introduction of the town and village system, Inunakidani was integrated into the nearby Yoshikawa village. Yoshi. Which over the years merged with other areas, eventually creating the city of Miyawaka. The site of Inukindani was submerged in 1986 due to the construction of the Inunaki Dam, completed in 1994. And residents of the village were relocated to Wakita.
Oh,
Wakita?
okay.
That's literally Akita with a W in front of it.
Wakita? That's cool.
Yeah, Akita, like my dog, who's a Japanese. Well, he's an American Akita, technically, but there's Japanese Akitas, and I think they're the OG.
What do they look like? I'm gonna Google Japanese Akitas.
Oh my god, they have like slightly pointier noses. Like bit of a like Fenrir already kind of has a bear face, but like
oh my god,
they're so cute.
It looks like Henry Cavill's dog. What kind of dog does Henry Cavill have?
An Akita.
Is it an Akita?
Yes, I believe his is his might be a Japanese Akita and mine's an American. Because yeah, their noses are different.
I love bear. Henry Cavill Akita.
Yeah, and it's named after.
He's an American Akita.
Oh, okay, he is an American Akita. Well, that's exactly what Fenrir is.
I didn't know they were the same type of dog. His is so much like floofy. Fenrir looks so skinny.
Yeah, I've seen floofier ones, and like when you put the collar on them, it stops their. Mm-hmm. I call it his ruff from sticking out so much, so then they don't look as floopy around the face. Too.
Yeah,
they are so cute.
Adorable.
Oh, I know. I love dogs like in that family, and then like the huskies too. Like, because these dogs are definitely snow dogs. Like, my dog be sitting outside in the snow today, even though it's like minus 24 Celsius.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm still trying to find this
dog's name. It's named after Superman. Kai. No. What is Superman's? Sorry, is this gonna just drive me? What is Superman's alien name again? Do you know what I mean? But
Cal.
His dog's name is Cal, named after Kal-El, which is Superman's name. Okay.
Yeah, Kal-El.
That was just gonna bug me. Okay, so there was a village, and there really was a village called Inunakidani, and then it was washed away during, like, after the construction of the Inunaki Dam. Like, the village was relocated. So then upsprang the urban legend about it after that. And that goes that when the dam was under construction, the people whose homes were soon to be underwater were being told to evacuate from the area and go live somewhere else, basically.
Yeah.
But it said that some villagers refused to leave their homes, and so they were tied to them inside them instead and left to drown.
That's awful.
Like common criminals. I think, and I hope that's not true, but I think that's the urban legend part.
That's so creepy. I don't like that.
No.
I mean, people do that when they say, like, a hurricane's coming, people start tying themselves to shit.
I know, there's always those people that refuse to leave. Yeah, there's a fire. They're like, I don't want to go. You're like, but you kind of have to.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, some people stayed behind, I think, in Katrina and helped out in places where people might not have been able to leave. Crazy stuff.
Yeah. I'm still trying to find this stupid movie. I've seen too many movies. This is bugging me.
So many horror movies too, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember any of them. I'm like, have we seen this? This is what I say to Pat all the time. Have we watched this?
Well, that's why I do this, because right when I start watching a movie, I'll log it, and then sometimes I'm like, I have seen this before.
Oh, this is me listening to podcasts lately. Oh, wait, this story sounds familiar.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just because I've heard it on a different podcast, so then that really fucks with you, because you're like, did I listen to this before, or just this story?
Right. Yeah.
So even if that didn't happen, there was other stuff that really did happen in the area. Like a married couple jumped off the dam on January 1st, 1996.
Jeez.
Romeo and
Okay.
Juliet.
Yeah.
Which
No.
it's kind of surprising neither of us decided to do anything with the forest. The suicide forest.
I think I've watched too many movies about that place. To be
Yeah, I do
honest.
feel like it's pretty known.
Yeah.
It's if you guys don't know, it is in Japan, and a lot of suicides do happen there. It is pretty self-explanatory, unfortunately, but very
Yeah.
sad. So I think maybe that's why, yeah, I went in a different direction too. But yeah, this was a couple that jumped. There was also a 64-year-old man who was killed in 2000 and dumped into the dam. And the bridge next to the dam is also a known suicide spot and heavy traffic car crash spot. Or maybe not heavy traffic, but high car crash spot.
So it's just like a whole bad area.
Yeah. Also, there's a phone in the little phone booth there at the dam, and it's said to ring every night at 2 a.m. And if you should be
Ew.
so bold as to answer it, then you'll be locked inside the booth and drowned just like the villagers did right there in the phone booth.
No, that's creepy. Yeah, that's some like.
Oh,
I don't like that.
no, I don't either. I'm like, ugh. So does water get in there with you like a magic trick gone wrong or what?
Right, and it's just in the phone booth, like slowly filling up. That's so gross.
Yeah. And that's all why the road is now closed and the tunnel is all sealed.
Gross.
Then we had something that was just called the Red Room Curse, which is very short and not so sweet. Yes, why is there always a red room? The red room is that bad place.
Red rum.
Red rum.
I had to do it.
I didn't even think of that. But Black Widow, that's where they do all the training for the Black Widows. Marvel.
Oh, I figured out what I thought the thing was
Did
called.
you?
It's called the wailing. That's why I was very like howling. It's called the wailing.
Okay.
It
And it
says
was good?
yeah, it was very good. It says a stranger arrives in a little village, and soon after, a mysterious sickness starts spreading. A policeman is drawn into the incident and is forced to solve the mystery in order to save his daughter. It was a good movie, but it's 156 minutes. It's like 2.5 hours long.
All right.
But like all the reviews were
Commitment.
really good. And I can't remember if I watched. I'm sure I had to download it or something. But yeah, it was really good. It's like a
Maybe it's on Shudder.
maybe the like sickness that goes through everybody is like kind of like a almost like a zombie type thing.
Okay.
Yeah, like along that kind of line. So it was good. It was very long though. But good.
That's okay. We're long, but we're good. In fact, we're so, let's say, loquacious
Oh yeah.
or chatty that our Spotify was telling us that we had recorded more than 909 or 99% of the other podcasters in our category
Yeah.
with over 5,000 minutes of content.
That means we're in the top 1% of podcasts for like the minutes.
The length. It's probably like true crime podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know.
For like the
It's
year
funny.
though. Means we had more minutes. We were in the top 1% of the amount of minutes of our content for 2022.
And that's
So you're
only...
welcome.
And that was, at first I was like, why is it only saying 41 episodes? And I was like, oh, because it was just this year.
Oh, yeah. So we did.
Amazing.
I mean, we'll be coming up to 2 years. So does that mean we have like?
Wow.
If it said we had 5,000 and something minutes, does that mean we have like probably just under 10,000 minutes?
Including
Scary.
Patreon? Probably.
Ah. Somebody quick add up
25,600.
Quick, somebody add up the length of all of our episodes.
Oh my god. There should
And then
be an app for that.
and our Patreon. Well, technically Anchor. Anchor would tell us most of them. We could add them up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. But by the time this comes out, speaking of Patreon, you should be able to check there for a special guest.
Yeah. It's a surprise. I won't be in it. But
I could let you listen to it though.
yeah.
Well, you gotta do what you could do. As other podcasters said, Kelsey's throat got ripped out by a demon this last month. We didn't have a lot we could do.
Yeah, it definitely felt that way, and I
happens.
Still I can like feel it in my lungs, and like yeah, my throat still feels weird, and then my ears are still a little off. Yeah. But getting there. This last week I started feeling quite a bit better. So
it's no joke.
Yeah, no, it's wild. But I'm excited. Tell me about this red room.
The red room.
The red room.
It probably has several versions, so it said, but this one's very simple, because most often it's just a computer pop-up that pops up on your screen, says, do you like blank whatever.
Okay.
It does not finish.
Okay.
And then when you try and close this annoying little pop-up ad, it just reappears right away. Oh god, like those worst, like in the early 2000s and late 90s with the internet pop-ups, click 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 click, and they're just like
opening, 72 layers.
Yeah,
and you see them. Yeah, on all shows, so it's like, what do they always do? It's they're opening something, and then it's like poof, 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 like all across their screen, and it's like 52 ads of like porn.
It's like a snake.
Yeah. And it's all these porn things.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So yeah, it starts out with like, do you like? And then you try and get rid of it, and it comes up and says, do you like the red room?
This sounds like salad fingers. It's like,
oh, creepypasta?
I don't know where he started from, but he's a weird green guy, and what does he have? Like rusty spoons for fingers or something? That's why they call them salad fingers.
Sorry.
But
okay.
Yeah, there's weird things. If you look up salad fingers, there's stuff about him and like blood and like all this weird. So it's very like creepypasta-y, like character kind of thing. But it's back with like that stupid unicorn that would go on those adventures in YouTube, like early 2000s. Those annoying, like Kevin the Unicorn or some shit videos.
Oh my god, I don't know if I was in that algorithm at that time.
Might have been a bit too old at the time for it, but yeah.
I love it. I was gonna say it sounds like a spin-off of Edward Scissorhands' creepy cousin.
I will quickly Google salad fingers for you. I couldn't remember his name, and I was like, Rusty Spoon Blood Fingers, and I was like, salad fingers.
Of course.
Yeah, hold on. Oh no, he's just got like weird fingers.
They always have.
Oh, and he played with like dead dogs and stuff. Yeah, this is him. Very like creepypasta, like. guy. He's got like weird fingers.
Oh, you froze it. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Big
Yeah.
buggy eyes. Very
Yeah.
simple drawing.
OG Slender Man. Salad fingers.
Okay. Yeah, they do have a similarity to them.
Now I have to see, hold on, if it is Kevin the Unicorn.
What?
Kevin the Unicorn. Oh no, it's
Okay.
not Kevin the Unicorn.
Never Kevin.
I don't know what that one was, but there was like stupid, it was like an episodic like YouTube thing somebody did of like shittily animated things of like this unicorn and his friends, and all I remember is at one point they're like trying to cross a bridge and they all die.
Oh, I remember watching some weird cartoons on something called like joecartoon.com. There was like frog in a blender kind of stuff.
Oh no, this is all on like early YouTube.
Oh god, that sounds like a scary place.
Yeah. Anyway, so this thing pops up.
It does. And then it asks if you like the red room. And then
No.
it just turns the whole screen red. And it scrolls by with a list of the curse's victims.
Oh, that's creepy.
I know this one could and did become a movie. Should and did become a movie. A short film.
Okay.
I mean, it's very short. That's all that happens because then you feel the hairs on your neck rise as you feel someone just watching you, and then you just slip into unconsciousness to be found dead on the floor by whoever next comes to your room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I might have seen a similar movie.
It said that a short movie came out called The Red Room Curse in 2016. So I think it was literally a short film, maybe.
Oh, I definitely wasn't that I watched. But
I could see there being something similar to maybe. Like there's like ones where technology is the thing that can infect you, and you have to like cover all the windows and everything.
Or that episode of Fringe. Where
right on time.
Her sister's daughter, what's her name?
Oh, Olivia's niece?
Olivia's niece is staying with her, and it's that one with the laptop, that like pop-up or whatever, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's very much like The Ring. There's playing this video game, and yeah, it's very VR, but then something's like really out to get you in it. Yeah. That one was creepy. Because you're like, yeah, your kid's like playing something, and you're like, oh, that could kill you. Get away from that screen.
Yeah.
And then also apparently it had, when I was searching up the Red Room Curse to see if there was any more info, it came up that there was a song.
Oh.
I guess.
It seems like there's always a song or a band name or...
I've been finding a lot of them lately, what with Whaley 52, and you have to go back and watch Mysterious Oceans if you don't know what we're talking about. Watch. What are we talking about? We're a podcast. You can't watch us unless you go to Patreon.
Can't watch it. Well, you can watch other videos, but not episode videos yet.
Oh no, we haven't recorded any full episodes yet. To me, that I'll watch people's videos of their full episodes if they have it on like YouTube or something, but I might not always jump at their Patreon just to watch the videos. I used to for Wine and Crime, and then I was like, it went up to $5.
Yeah, I canceled all my Patreon stuff.
Yeah, I like to support some people, but depends who it is.
Yeah.
The song came out, it was by Filmy Ghost. So, big name. And it was among a playlist of Japanese horror tales, and one of them was called No Face. And I didn't look into that at all. You're welcome.
Another Fringe episode.
They have the creepiest ghost
they lose
names
like
for some
their
of these.
orifices. Oh yeah, you definitely do. Them and like
so,
Japanese.
Yes, people having no faces. Sorry, I was hearing what you're saying. When they had
they lose their mouth and eyes.
Yeah, they just see
in the new Wednesday series with Wednesday Addams.
Oh, my brother's been watching that. Yeah,
it's pretty good. I liked it.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna check it out.
They have for their school of outcasts that they have I can't remember. They call them the faceless, or maybe they don't like say them. But they're the same thing. They have no eyes and like no nothing. It's basically just like smoothed over.
Oh God.
Yeah. So they have no mouth, no eyes, no nose. Yeah. They're just at the school and you're like how? It's kind of cool.
How do you breathe?
Yeah. And I found out in like behind the scenes thing that they did it with prosthetics. It wasn't CGI'd on like after, because we were talking about when we were like doing our intro thing, and she Jenny Ortega that plays Wednesday, she's like, we turned around and we're like, what are those? Oh my god, they're so awesome. And she's like, you could see them, and she's like, they became obsessed with them because they were like so weird, and they're basically shown in like 2 shots of the entire show for like 2 seconds each shot.
Okay.
Yeah. But she said they had like the full prosthetics must have been done. They must not have done it with CGI.
Ew, how could you
Which is creepy. Yeah, exactly. How would you breathe in that?
Although you should see some of the get-ups they wear in fucking Masked Singer. They don't look like they can breathe in it, and let alone they can hardly walk sometimes.
Yeah.
We guessed right on that tonight. Anyway.
Yeah. I've only ever seen 2 episodes, so.
I know. Wait, you said who plays Wednesday? I thought it was the different girl.
Jenna Ortega? Her name is?
I thought it was the one from Parks and Rec and stuff.
No.
Aubrey Plaza?
No, she's not in
What? It. That's not Aubrey Plaza. Have I not really watched the trailer yet?
I don't think so. Yeah, she's like 16 in high school.
Does she look like Aubrey Plaza? I feel like I'm going crazy. Well, she would make a good Wednesday. She's just not 16, that's all.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Fair enough. I haven't actually looked it up yet. I just assumed from seeing like 3-second clips, or it advertised to me on my Netflix that I knew who it was, and apparently I don't. That's funny. Okay, this next one is also a curse, so there's your segue. It's a cursed poem.
A cursed poem? Wow.
Yeah. It is called Tamino's Hell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you gonna read it? Is this like Macbeth? We don't say Macbeth in the theater. The play is cursed.
Yeah, because it is like you're not supposed to read it out loud, but
oh no, we'll post it in the episode description.
Oh my god, that seems worse somehow. Read this without knowing what it is. But no, yeah, it is. It's one that I think I read that some YouTuber had read it on their thing, and all they said was that they felt funny. And this article person was like, but they probably said that just to get more likes. And I was like, well, or they had something bad to eat for lunch. I don't know.
I don't want you to curse yourself, though.
Okay, but no, it's not as maybe got as much cred as the Scottish play, as they call it. More of a Bloody Mary kind of. They said the first one to die after reading it was a little girl. And the poem's origin is traced back to the author of it, Saijo Yaso. I am sorry. An author of poetry who was known for children's nursery rhymes and popular song lyrics. And it came out in a collection of poems called Sakin in 1919.
Okay, so it's more than 100 years old at least.
Oh my god, don't say that. That's hard to believe because 2019 was yesterday. Right. The rumors are that he wrote it at age 27 after the loss of a loved one, his father or possibly his sister. Who knows? But
somebody. We
do know that's who wrote it anyway.
Yeah.
But the legend goes that it was written by an actual young man named Tamino, and that his parents were none too pleased about that fact, as it was very grim and gruesome. So they were so frightened of him that they locked him in the basement and ignored him until he starved to death.
What?
So, but that's the legend around the poem, so take all that with a grain of salt because it's
that's
written
so
by
creepy.
that gentleman. I know. So that is what they say caused his angry spirit to imprint on the poem, and that's what latches onto it if you are to read it. Or also, I read he was possibly angry because he was an ill child stuck in a wheelchair and like very unhappy with the world.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't know. It's an either or situation.
Yeah.
And then I had like just a common summary of it, or an interpretation, if you will, on from one website, but
Yeah.
it said, yeah, the meaning of the poem is open up to interpretation, rather, but the most common summary is that a boy named Tamino is in love with his younger sister and loses his soul.
Okay.
With the loss of his soul, Tamino descends into hell, which may be a metaphor for war. I don't know. His older sister encourages him to win the war as she spits up blood. Yeah,
Okay.
I saw that in the first couple of lines of it that I read. His younger sister does the same while spitting up fire. Tamino, presented to still be young and innocent, throws his life away for the cause. He cries for his younger sister as he travels through the 7 valleys of hell. Tamino eventually reaches the 8th level, which is the most painful. He suffers more with each passing level. There are also certain items on Tamino's clothing and different hints throughout the poem that relate the story back to the battlefield of World War II. The story ends with Tamino dying in battle, never to return to his family.
Well, that's depressing, like all around.
Oh, yeah. Doesn't it make you want to read it? No.
No.
Yeah, it does seem dark, like Metallica songs that are about people coming home from the war all paralyzed. You like listen to the lyrics, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
A 1974 movie took much inspiration from the poem. As it happens, the director was Terayama Shuji, and it was called Den En ni Shisu, or Pastoral, to Die in the Countryside, aka Pastoral Hide and Seek.
Oh. Okay. Those seem completely unrelated.
Yeah, I don't know why there's 2 different kind of English variations or translations.
They do that in some like some countries movies get released under different names.
Oh, yeah. That does make sense. Sound familiar.
It's not too common, but yeah, there's been a few times and you're like looking up a movie and you're like, this has a different name. like when it actually gets released in like Canada.
Okay, it made me think
Yeah.
of Hide and Seek, which I did like as a movie.
Yes, that was one of my favorite movies for a long time. We watched it in high school, like in class as an assignment, which like why?
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Isn't it recent? How old?
Oh
Oh,
no, I was
oh,
thinking there's
Hide and
one.
Seek. Oh,
Yeah, Robert De Niro and
oh,
that one, the creepy one.
oh no, no, no. Oh, maybe it's called. Okay, maybe I'm thinking it's called Hide and Seek, but it's actually called Ready. Is it Ready or Not?
Yeah,
The
that one.
horror movie, but then she has to play hide and seek with the family
Yeah,
she married into, but
yeah,
they're
that's
all
Ready or
trying to
Not.
kill her. Damn it. I always think it's called hide and seek. Anyway.
That's a good movie. Yeah.
Sorry, people. I'm so confusing everyone. Okay, so this is why then after the director passed away fairly early at 47 from cirrhosis of the liver, they blamed the poem.
Wow. Or
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
drinking heavily.
Not his drinking, no.
Yeah, it's got to be the poem.
Oh yeah. It's totally the play that's cursed. It's like, I don't think so. But rumors still swirled of some college students passing away after reading it, and other incidents like injuries, like falls. Sorry. Permanent loss of voice was a weird one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Almost been there. No.
I know. I was like, that's probably going to be like triggering for you.
Throw in loss of
And
hearing, eyesight.
sorry.
Was like, what will I have left?
Oh,
I'll just be
oh,
like fucking Helen Keller, like over here.
oh
It's like,
no.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But these are what they're saying too. They're like, oh, they're having the worst time. Anyone that reads this poem. All of the events were said to be after the people read the poem aloud, daring to defy its curse. And according to a website, Indie88, in Japan in the 80s, there was a trend of filming friends who were intent on reading the poem out loud. The trend became popular, and reportedly, there were no consequences to reading it out loud most of the time. But all it said was that nowadays it might occur at random. However, in Japan, it's usually still avoided, especially by the more superstitious, which as a country they tend to be, I guess. So I do have it pulled up. It's not that long.
Yeah,
Um,
seemed like it. There was a few I talked about even back in Death Omens episode.
oh my
There was
god.
some stuff about Japan and like not turning on or not having a fan going in your room when you sleep
Oh
because if you fall asleep
yeah.
the fan will like cut you or something and
Yeah, because I was
yeah.
like, that's like that's really narrowing down our options for white noise at night. We like
Yeah.
to have a fan sometimes. Damn, what a
I used
callback.
to I used to not be able to sleep without a fan. Like I couldn't I always had to have a fan or I was going to sleep so terribly for almost my entire life. And
Yeah, gotta have that white noise, hey?
right because my ears were like so bad and I could hear so little, I couldn't hear my fan at all
Oh.
for like 3 weeks every night.
Oh,
And
okay.
now I actually can't sleep with my fan on because it's too loud. It like keeps me up. So I like sleep and it's like dead silent.
Oh
I don't
my
know. It
god.
like cured me of like requiring a fan to sleep at night.
That's
Like
pretty crazy because you like grow up
yeah.
with something one way and you're like, I need my house to
Yeah.
be like that, quiet. Or if you grow up in like a louder house, you're like, I can fall asleep through anything, doesn't matter.
Yeah, like ever
Weird.
since I was a little kid, needed to have even just the like clip little fan going, like just something. But
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been weird because the last few times I've tried to turn it on, I told my parents this too, like, even though my hearing isn't 100% again, it's like some sounds are louder. Like, I can hardly stand to, like, listen to my car radio at the same volume I used to because it seems so loud to me.
Oh.
And, like, other things that used to seem so quiet in my house now seem so loud to me because I just got used to, like, everything being so muffled.
Isn't that
Like,
crazy?
yeah. So I've been getting, like, headaches and stuff for a few days at work when it's been, like, really noisy at work because I'm just, like, not used to it just being so
Weird.
loud. Yeah, it's been
Yeah, it's like you
weird.
had your eardrums blown out or something, like
Yeah.
after an explosion, and then all of a sudden you're like having to get it back again. It's like, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah,
Never
it's
thought of that.
weird. Everything seems, like, louder. Like, I
Oh.
got used to just being in silence. But,
And then we had issues where I was like, wait, I sounded so loud. And you were like, well, I didn't know because I could hardly hear anything. And
right?
we're all
Yeah.
like, oh, we hopefully the audio's been okay, but.
Yeah.
Ugh. But the funny thing enough was that the author of the poem actually lived to be a rather ripe old 78 years old. So
Oh. Well,
he
clearly
lived
he never read it out loud himself.
he lived 51 years after writing the poem, and he was known to have read it out loud numerous times. So it might be a little bit debunked.
Maybe he's just immune to it because he wrote the book.
Well, I'll risk it, okay?
Oh
Because now
god.
you all want to hear it.
If Alanna dies, I promise we will post this on
the
YouTube.
The YouTuber didn't die. Someone else read it.
The
This is just the rough English translation. I shouldn't say that. But okay. Elder sister vomits blood. Younger sister's breathing fire. While sweet little Tamino just spits up the jewels. Sorry.
Okay. I never
All
got
alone.
poems. I'm sorry.
I know. They're so I don't know. I like some of them, but yeah,
It was like
it's
never my
hard to read.
thing. I don't like deciphering and analyzing stuff like that much.
Yeah. I mean, in a way, lyrics are poetry. But yeah, it is it's like I prefer reading stories
Yeah.
rather than these little stanzas. All alone does Tamino go falling into that hell, a hell of utter darkness without even flowers.
Hmm.
Is Tamino's big sister the one who whips him? The purpose of the scourging hangs dark in his mind. Lashing and thrashing him, but never quite shattering. One sure path to Avicii, I think, the eternal hell. Into that blackest of hells, guide him now, I pray, to the golden sheep, to the nightingale. How much did he put in that leather pouch to prepare for his trek to the eternal hell? Spring is coming to the valley, to the wood, to the spiraling chasms. Chasms? Chasms? Of the black
Chasms.
chasms. Okay.
I was sorry, as you were listening things, I just went to the window, to the wall, just went
It's to the sweat drips off my balls. Yeah.
and all I think is
Uh,
that Betty White and Sandra Bullock around the campfire. I love the proposal.
oh
They do
yes,
that.
good
Yeah.
movie. Ryan Reynolds. Right.
Oh, great.
Oh, but anyway, those are some funny people.
That's all I could think when you were listing things in that way.
We laugh because we're scared. No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, chasms of the blackest hell. The nightingale in her cage, the sheep aboard the wagon, and tears well up in the eyes of sweet little Tamino. Sing, O nightingale, in this vast misty forest. He screams, he only misses his little sister. His
Oh,
wailing.
fuck the big
Yeah.
sister. I don't care about her.
And wasn't he fucking one of them? Like, ugh.
Yeah, it was the little
Cersei.
sister. That's why he misses her.
Oh, twincest. No.
Gross.
His wailing desperation echoes throughout hell. A fox peony opens its golden petals. Down past the 7 mountains and 7 rivers of hell, the solitary journey of sweet little Tamino. If in this hell they be found, may they then come to me, please, these sharp spikes of punishment from Needle Mountain. Not just on some empty whim is flesh pierced with blood-red pins. They serve as hellish signposts for sweet little Tamino. That's it.
That's so weird.
Eerie. But anyway, we have some funnier stuff to end it on because we have a couple of toilet-loving demons.
I was gonna say, where was the toilet?
Where was the toilet? I had to spoiler you and tell you that it was coming. In case you were going to cover them. All right, the first one's called Akamanto, or Red Cape, Red Vest, or Ake, Cami, Awai, Cami. Basically red garment clothing person. This Japanese urban legend is about a masked spirit who wears a red cloak and who appears to people using toilets in public or school bathrooms. Right?
Public bathroom demon.
Yeah. No, but particularly elementary school bathrooms.
Ew.
That's where they get talked about the most. It's usually in the older or seldom used bathrooms, often with an older squat-style toilet, because Japan. So, like, they're in the floor, they're in line with the floor, and you squat over them, which is the correct posture for pooping, apparently.
Yeah.
But
don't they
they're
have
not
those
all like that. Yeah.
They have those in like Dubai or something too, don't they?
I think you can find them in many parts of Asia still. My friend Jill, that does live in China, shout out Jill, has often done little picture series where she's like, oh, this is what this bathroom looks like. Like some of them are still, yeah, the floor style, or it's not always as common to have a Western toilet, but if they do, I think in a lot of places in Japan too, they have ones with fancy like bidet,
Yeah.
functions on the top and stuff. Quite the variety. Often the 4th stall is the cursed one, as the number 4 is associated with death.
Oh.
Yay. The students, or the stories, that's what I meant to put. The stories usually involved a student who stayed late at school for one reason or another, so it's late, often in the evening. And then the student finds himself in desperate need of a toilet, and the closest one is the cursed and or actively avoided bathroom.
Oh. Yet the whole school's abandoned and that's the only one that's not
I know,
used.
they're studying right next to it. Once they finish going, they notice to their utmost horror that they are stranded on the toilet bowl. Ain't nothing on the roll. Sorry. That's from a Chili Pepper song. It's all about being stranded on the toilet bowl.
No.
Some of their early work was very highbrow, I must say. What do you do stranded on the toilet bowl? To prove you're a man, you must wipe it with your hand. Stranded on the toilet bowl. That's the real poetry.
Oh my god. I don't know. I never liked Red Hot Chili Peppers. I know. I know they're your favorite.
I mean, I don't think they're perfect, though. It's fine. All right. If the student answers yes... Okay, back up. Sorry.
They have a like, what?
I missed a line. Okay, so they're there. They have no toilet paper. They hear a disembodied voice say, "Do you want red paper or blue paper?"
Red pill or blue pill? It's the Matrix!
Yeah. Do you want Neo to come and give you a square of toilet paper? If the student answers yes, they are violently stabbed to death. Your
What?
life's blood spattering the walls.
The answer was red or blue, not yes or no.
If they say yes, red. I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay.
Who wrote these notes?
You did.
The teleprompter is crazy. And then your body will be drenched in blood, and you appear to be wearing a red cloak, which, if you remember, was one of the nicknames for this.
Oh, okay.
Demon. Red cloak. Then the next time a student needs to go desperately to the bathroom, they are also forced to use the nasty one. Having heard the story of the other youth, they know not to answer red when the voice asks the question, or yes, because they're smarter than me. Do you want red or blue? They pick blue and are drained of their blood immediately, left blue, dead, and lifeless.
What? So
There's
how do you
no
win?
good answer.
No toilet paper.
You kill him!
That's so gross.
Sometimes the story is that it's a serial killer who lurks in the stalls, which I was like, ooh, that's so a la Scream 2 with Jada Pinkett Smith. She has to listen against the stall door because she hears whispers, and then they just stab her right in the ear. Ugh.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Or sometimes it's a ghost, a tall figure with a sickly blue face. Some say it's a hairy yokai, which is like a supernatural entity or spirit in Japanese folklore. Mm-hmm. This yokai is called a kinade, literally Kincaid without the C. So I don't know. Kinade?
I guess so.
Kinade. Who lives in the toilet and also likes to stroke people's rear end with its hand.
No.
Yes. That's the Kinade.
So gross.
Don't like him.
No.
Or his pal Tuare no Hanoko-san, or Hanoko of the toilet. Hanako of the toilet. Who is a young girl ghost who haunts toilets, especially, you guessed it, school toilets.
Moaning Myrtle.
Yeah, they've got so many moaning myrtles. And they're so horrible.
Yeah.
She's supposed to have come from the World War II era, died either by A, an air raid strike hit while she was playing hide and seek, B, murdered by a parent or stranger, or C, she killed herself as a result of bullying. Take your pick.
Those are vastly different answers.
I know, right? And all very sad either way. So I was just like, why does there have to be so many versions? And they're obviously popular, the legends in Japanese schools, and have bled over into the media, movies, manga, anime, video games, etc.
I think I watched a movie about a haunted bathroom.
That I want to now. Was it good?
Quick, now go back to the letterbox list. No.
You and your letterbox.
Yeah, it was some like movie, but I remember it was like haunted bathroom, but the girl, I think she hung herself or something. Involved tagging. But it was like either
maybe from the bullying.
I think it was either like a Japanese school or like an orphanage or something where they were. Yeah.
Oh, we have a horror movie called The Orphan.
Yeah.
But that might be a different one.
Yeah, that's completely different.
All right, okay.
And well, like one by one. Yeah, one by one, like the girls slowly were like getting killed by her or something.
Oh, okay.
I think. Yeah.
All Japanese girls are creepy. Sorry, if you're a little Japanese girl, you're creepy. I'm sorry about it.
I think it's the bowl haircut.
The long dark hair too, though.
No, I think that's pretty. like
Okay, well, it
really
is
long
until
dark
they're
hair.
crawling across the floor at you like in the Ring.
Well, if it's unwashed and like nasty, matted, and wet, yes. But like
Ah, split ends!
otherwise, no. Their hair is gorgeous.
That's true, that's true. Pin straight. Share hair.
Yes. It's amazing. Some days I'm
I
jealous. I'm jealous of anybody that can just put their hair up in a ponytail and then wear it down again the next day. Because my hair is curly. If I put my hair in a
So
ponytail, then it just ruins my hair, and then I cannot wear it down again until I
Oh,
wash it. So then it's like a big ordeal.
that's true. I would just get a bump for a little bit.
Yeah.
I had someone, an acquaintance, say they had Asian straight hair once, and I went, "Oh, that's a pretty good description for it, but I probably won't use it because it sounds a little
Yeah.
cringy." So you might want to know how to avoid this ghost.
Yes.
Wait, before you guys go, how do we stay away from this one? She's said to be lurking in the third stall of the girls' bathrooms on the third floor. So you gotta watch out for the 3 with this one,
Okay.
and 4 with the other one.
So 1 and 2 and 5 are good.
They should be. Stall 5 at my work is a shower, because for some reason we have a shower. Because we're a contact center and we have like a shower and we have like a room that has like a bed in it. Like, we're just prepared for anything.
Yeah, the shower is a little weird.
It's a little creepy, I gotta say. It's got a stall door just like all the other toilets, so I try not to open that one or look in it or anything.
Yeah, gross. Weird.
I know. And my friend said she saw an old Native American ghost at our work once in the bathroom, so I just. Yeah. Anyway, to avoid this one, you don't want to Bloody Mary her. But if you do want to do that and call her, you go up to the door of the stall, you knock 3 times, and you call her name. And when you open it, you might find a little girl with dark hair and a red skirt, or just her bloody hand that grabs you, or she turns into a lizard.
A lizard? Okay.
Eats you. I guess.
Eats you.
I know, this moaning myrtle is very versatile. And finally, she's got another little friend that you might come into contact with while you're in there, Kashima Reiko, who's another bathroom spirit. But I'm not sure why she hangs out in the bathroom, because she was apparently cut in half by a train.
Oh. Yeah, that doesn't typically happen in bathrooms.
No. But she does like to ask you where her legs are and then rip yours off when she doesn't like you.
Oh, shit.
And then just pulls you down the toilet to hell.
Ah.
And that's my
Gross.
segment.
Wow.
Oh, I love Japan.
Yeah, I was not expecting so many toilets.
I have heard 1 or 2 things, but I haven't listened to a lot of people talk about ghosts from different countries in Asia. But I love that there's different podcasts coming out about that. Like, there's Stories with Sapphire that I heard of, who's like, she's from Philippines. And I've heard different guests on some podcasts where they're like, in my country, we believe this. And I'm like, holy shit, I love all these different ghost stories from around the world and beliefs and stuff. And
yeah.
So cool.
I'm trying to find the bathroom movie. I'm just Googling Japanese horror movie bathroom.
Oh,
bathroom.
okay. Because, like, the whole premise was mostly around the bathroom?
Oh my god. This is why I got Letterboxd, because I, like, literally cannot figure stuff out otherwise. And I'm like, what was that movie? And then I scroll through the, like, 2,200 movies I've watched.
Oh, yeah. It's like you have a song stuck in your head and you go to Google and people have Googled, what's that song that goes la 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 la?
Yeah.
You're like, but how will they know? Well, next week we'll see Kelsey and she'll still be looking for it.
Maybe.
And we will be also talking about some twisty, surprising, or unexpected crimes.
Yes.
So that should be interesting because we can. That's really open. I could have some fun with choosing my case for that one. I know you've already chosen a case, so all I have to do is choose something that's not yours.
Yeah, basically. I found one movie that was also good. I watched around the same time. It was called The Bridge Curse.
Oh, okay. That sounds like my tunnel case. No.
4 years after 5 students mysteriously commit suicide after taking part in a courage test on the Ghost Bridge in Donggu University, a reporter and a cinematographer are back to that place and try to get everything clear. So they like go there and if I remember correctly, like they're gonna record while she walks. You're supposed to like walk backwards across the bridge.
Ew.
And then you basically get killed.
Don't like that.
Yeah.
I've already risked enough this week. I just read a curse poem.
Yeah.
Go sage myself. No. Oh.
So creepy.
We won't record Macbeth.
Nope.
You know? And I don't have a Ouija board.
No, neither do I. I did get my tarot cards. I wanted though. And they
really?
are
Oh, that's
beautiful.
exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll always have room for more sets though, I'm sure.
I can lay them all out and take a picture or something.
Okay, which deck is this?
It's called Phantom Wise. Like the
okay.
Phantom Wise from Alice in Wonderland, it's supposed to be based off. The one who created it is the author of The Night Circus, which I haven't read, but apparently it's a pretty popular, like, young adult book or something. I downloaded it. It's on my Kindle. I just haven't watched it yet.
Is it a book or a show?
It's a book.
Oh, you said watched it yet.
Oh, read it.
So you're still looking for movies.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for listening.
Yes.
We'll catch you next week.
Bye.
Don't forget to rate, review. Keep following us on Spotify because we loved seeing who had us in their top 5 and top number 1 podcast slots for the year.
Yeah.
19 of you listen to us the most. Thank you.
Yeah.
Share it on social media if that's you. I want to see it.
Yeah, it's
Prove
crazy.
it to me. You're not a bot.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I know one of them's you, Mom. It's okay. You don't have to share it on Instagram. I know you don't have one. But everyone else.
Yeah.
All right. Keep it cryptic.
This has been Castles and Cryptids. You can listen to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Anchor, Breaker, Pocket Cast, and our YouTube channel. Please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Reddit. On our website, you can listen to all of our episodes as well as view pictures for each of our segments. Check out our Patreon page to view all of our tiers and become a Patreon supporter today to unlock monthly bonus episodes and behind-the-scenes content. We are working on an Ask Us Anything. You can submit questions by social media or by email at castlesandcryptids@gmail.com. Do you have a spooky ghost story, a creepy cryptid sighting, or a thrilling true crime tale you would like to share and have us include in a future episode? Send us your listener story by social media or by email. Please include the name that you would like mentioned. Our music is by Cobia Fair. Our logo and artwork is by Antonio Garcia. Thanks for listening.